What is up, Bucs fans? We are back. It's live here on a Monday. After a Buccaneers win yet again, the Bucs are now 7-6 and in first place of the NFC South.
Woo!
Yes,
Woo!
that deserves all the woos. The Buccaneers defeat the Las Vegas Raiders 28-13. It was a game where the Buccaneers started fast, and then obviously the second and third quarters have plagued them this year, where they kind of go into this lull with turnovers and such, and let the other team hang around. But thankfully, the Buccaneers found a way to pull it out in the fourth quarter and really finish the game strong. But welcome to Real Bucs Talk, guys. Thank you for your patience. Apologize for the delay. But appreciate you guys joining us here, and we're going to have a great show in store for you guys. With that said, I'm your host, Michael Plus. Joining as always, my co-host, Mark Ramirez. Mark, we were at the game yesterday. It was quite fun, interesting ups and downs, as it is a roller coaster with this team, as you know. But how are you doing on this Victory Monday?
It always feels better when you win, right? I mean, right now we're at the point where it's like, let's just get one more point than the other team. And to use Todd Bowles' quotes, it's like, it's hard to win in this league. And I'll take a win anytime over. I mean, look at the damn Chiefs wins. It's almost like cheesy wins. They're like refs helping them all the time, but it doesn't matter. They're 12-1. They're winning every damn game. It felt like we're losing every game. So it doesn't matter if we win by a point or 20. I just want to win. And it feels good to win. And not to mention, at the end of the game, it was more in a convincing fashion. Like, they kind of took it over at the end. But yes, you feel frustrated that it should have been a dominant win through four quarters. But this team just never does 4 quarters of great football. Mm-hmm. Maybe give it to some of it to the other team. But a lot of that is, when we look at film, it's like, why the hell do we shoot ourselves in the foot? So you can't. I want to give a lot more credit to the Raiders, but some of the things like KGH for Life said, what's up with Baker? He went haywire in the second and third. He does. And it's very inconsistent. It's like the Jameis Winston factor. Like, the guy can be an amazing quarterback, and then all of a sudden it's like, what are you doing? Like, some of the strip sack fumble, hold on to the ball. Throwing a pick in our own end zone, what are you doing? Like, it's just bonehead plays, and you're like, you can make some amazing ones, then you do bonehead stuff like that.
Yeah.
Consistent play just isn't here on both sides of the ball. I mean, there's things that are dialed up that look great, that we see potential for, but at the end of the day, we're winning. I'm not going to complain too much. I mean, it's 28-13 victory, and Plus gets his kudos yet again. The Bucs score 24 or more, they're going to win. And Plus nails it on the head yet again.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the teams you're facing, and thankfully the Buccaneers have been facing bad football teams, and you started with the Giants, only have 2 wins, the Raiders 2 wins, Panthers probably your toughest test yet. They took you into overtime. You found a way to win. But with that said, if you're able to put up 24 or more, you got a good chance of beating these teams, because they're not consistent. Obviously, that's why their record is what it is. But that gives you the opportunity, to win games, and with an offense of the talent that the Buccaneers have, it's the healthiest unit on the team. It should be your strength, and it has to be down the stretch. Now we just need Baker Mayfield and company to be consistent. Yeah, JC Allen with the bag reference, but yeah, Baker has to be better overall. And I think it's also the whole offensive unit needs to be more consistent as well. There's times where certain guys are either messing up with flags, or there's protection issues, or Baker not throwing with timing, or receivers not running the proper routes. All those things factor into it. So, yeah, I mean, but with that said, Buccaneers move into 7-6. They are, yeah, they're on a 3-game winning streak for the first time this season, and now head into a tough battle with the Chargers. And we're going to talk about how you can't afford those mistakes against a team that you're going to be playing here next week. But right now, just looking at this game, I thought there was a lot of good things individually. Rashad White's definitely one we're going to talk about. Kadon, yet again, doing tight end one things. Mike Evans, I thought, made the biggest play of the game, and we'll get into that as well. And then defensively, I thought they just did enough. Like, there wasn't anything where it was glaring or they allowed, a lot of big plays here or there. So they did their job. They tackled pretty well, and got the stops when they needed to.
I mean, talking point on the defense, like you've been talking about a lot. They ran a lot of 5-1-5 formations.
Yeah.
There was, I think that Greg Allman said there was only 20 snaps, but there was 2 linebackers in at the same time.
Right.
I think that was the call. But either way, and Todd Bowles' answer back to that was, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors, as he's laughing. I'm like, well, then the smoke and mirrors should have started a lot earlier, because their defense has been god awful the entirety of the season. And now you're just doing your smoke and mirrors now to fix those issues. You should have been doing this a lot longer ago. I mean, this is what your mastermind is. Your head coach that is a defensive coordinator. This is what your bread and butter should be. The team should be consistent at that. The team isn't consistent at anything. And it's frustrating, because even offensively, things do well, then they shoot themselves in the foot. Defensively, we haven't been, and there's nothing to hang our hat on. Right. And in this game, against a very lesser opponent with lesser talent, yes, Brock Bowers is amazing. He had one of the most amazing catches in this game as well. Mm-hmm. But still, they kind of slowed him down just enough. And these 5 DBs being on there, Izzy and flexing in with Tyke Smith and Merriweather should have had an interception, but still, like, they were all doing good things and just being interchangeable. And that's stuff we talked about in the offseason when we're hoping with Jordan Whitehead and Antoine Winfield Jr. And just moving forward with that, and Izzy and kind of rolling in with that formation, because he kind of plays like a miniature linebacker. So does Jordan Whitehead, but based on health, whoops. But either way, I mean, let's see if his smoke and mirrors continues, because we truly do need that. And our defensive line is actually healthy. So I like seeing that, getting pressure nonstop. You hurt a quarterback, and then you're causing errant throws, bad throws. Doesn't matter what type of quarterback it is, they're rush decisions, and they're getting the pocket flushed out. So let's see what happens against a Justin Herbert, who is a lot better on his feet and has a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, exactly. Chargers are going to be tougher tests, because they know how to run the football. They're a more physical team. They like to kind of play that bully type of football. So, but back to this game, I think a great point you made about Brock Bowers. Only five targets for him. He caught 3 passes. He had 49 yards. He had a long of 25. So they did a pretty good job of keeping him in check. You look at, let me bring this back up. So, you look at the numbers here, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, they had their targets. Obviously, they were leading the way, but did a pretty good job. Not bad against the run. You had some long gains there. You had the long of 29, but overall defensively, I thought the biggest thing for them over these last 3 weeks is they're playing a little bit better structure. They're playing a little bit more just flying to the football, and obviously getting tackles. Tackles is the biggest thing when you look at them and what they're doing a lot better as far as just being more consistent on that side of the ball, trying to get more stops. Probably could have had 3 picks, maybe even 4 picks in this game. They dropped a couple. Merriweather could have had an easily an interception. And then McCollum, I thought, caught the football, but again, they didn't call it. But overall, they did enough on that side of the football. And then offensively, again, finished strong with 14 points in the fourth quarter. That is one positive I think we can say about Baker Mayfield. He has been very strong in the fourth quarter. I think he only has, I want to say, 1 turnover in the fourth quarter and like over 10 touchdowns in that situation. So that is good news. From a offensive standpoint, that they are playing strong when it matters as far as the fourth quarter goes, but you would like to see consistency throughout. the whole game for sure.
Yeah, but overall of the defense, I think it truly is just your opposite cornerback of Zion McCollum is now healthy. Jamel Dean and McCollum are healthy, and then you bring in Tyke Smith, who I feel like he's the only guy that gets turnovers on our team right now. And then Winfield goes down, but still, like those three right there, help us tremendously because the biggest holes were the opposite corner of McCollum and the linebacker. Well, guess what? He just took a damn linebacker out and just said 5 DBs stay out there. Buccaneers are working. Keep doing it because you're getting more athletic, faster players out there. Keep doing it. I mean, Izzy, as amount of time he's played this year and last year, he's a starter. He pretty much is a starter. Yeah. So, and he knows the defense. Leave his ass out there. Mike Edwards, you hope you get back. That's another guy you can rotate in the mix. I mean, this is good things for Todd Bowles and his defense. So keep hanging on. I mean, you're scratch and claw as much as you can. And then Baker, just don't turn the ball over. And this team can be a consistent scoring offense. Like that's pretty much what it is. Offensively, Baker, don't turn the ball over. And then because Cohen's going to draw it up. There's only so much an offensive coordinator can draw up for you to execute. It comes down to execution. And if it's not there, bail out, run, or just eat it. You can't throw gifts and you can't literally go falling down and then drop the ball. Like there's some of this crap. It's like scratching your head. Like, what are you wanting to just drop the ball? I don't get it, but here we go.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it here shortly, but I mean, when we look at that sack fumble, it was a good play by the defender. He did get his hand in there to knock that football out, but like you said, obviously that's something you can't have. You have to protect the football, and that's something
like
that
going into an accident, hitting the gas though, like you hit the damn brake before you get hit. Don't make an accident even worse by hitting the gas. Right. Jeez, come on, Baker.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. So yeah, definitely. We'll just have to see it. Yeah, I mean, Rampage talking about Baker seemed to get rattled. Yeah, there's just times where I think he gets a little bit too happy, the happy feet and, try to force the issue or try to get into that hero type of playmaking style that he wants to do. Trying to go for that big play. It's just not always there, and you just have to take what the defense is giving you. He always talks about fine completions, and that's something that he's got to do a better job of. But overall, so that's our summary of the game. I thought Rachaad White, again, was outstanding. We'll get into that, and K-Dot and Mike Evans, obviously, and even Sean Tucker made a really nice play. And unfortunately, tonight we won't have any defensive film. Yeah. We're going to mainly just speak on the offense. Defensively, obviously the standout Tyke Smith can't say enough about him and his play. He's been a home run pick by the Buccaneers, and I can't wait to see his development. Been really good. He was great yesterday and had the interception. Even Logan Hall. I have to shout out Logan Hall because Logan Hall made a play. I think it was the second play of the game. He made a tackle for no gain. And me and you look at each other and we're like, wait a minute. They just said Logan Hall made that tackle. And he did. And it was that was like one of two plays he made in the game. But it was awesome to see him get in the action because we give him a lot of crap on this channel. And rightfully so. But
rightfully so.
Rightfully so. And Kalijah Cansey was doing Kalijah Cansey things. He was outstanding, as always. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Mark does have a nice Jaws shirt. He loves that movie. It's a great movie.
My son loves it. That's why.
He likes the shark, probably.
He likes the shark. He doesn't watch any of the gory parts of it. He just likes the intros.
Oh, yeah. The music, outstanding. Yeah. Well, with that said, let's get into the film here. I'll bring this up to the stage. And let's go full screen. So with this film study, we're going to start with the Buccaneers offense. This is going to be just going over the touchdowns to begin, and then we'll get into some more of the running game and such. But right here, this is a great play call because, again, they just did a screen pass to Bucky Irving on the play before, which went for a nice gain. So now they're going to set this up where it looks like it could be another screen to Bucky, and you have your options here. Basically, verticals as a decoy to block, but you have all verts, and they're like, oh no, we got beat. And obviously, there's a window there for Baker Mayfield to hit one of the better balls all season from Baker, and he puts it right in the bucket to Jalen McMillan.
Yeah, and like so to take what Todd Bowles says, smoke and mirrors. Cohen's been doing this all year. I mean,
Yep.
you get Kate Otten moving in motion, like you just mentioned. Okay, it could be going to one of our best playmakers, if not our best playmaker, in Bucky Irving, guy out of the backfield. I think it was a 29-yard reception earlier, and then you have him in motion. Usually, it means it's going to be a run. So they're thinking so many damn things here. Then he goes out wide. Oh, holy crap! Everyone's trying to crash in. Baker gets to take his pick. Who am I going to pick on this one guy? Because then once they pass that second level, it's almost all three are going to be open. I mean, Kate Otten, if you wanted to, over the top, the middle of the safety, maybe there, but he just went wide. That's my first read. I'm going to take it, and it was too easy. Jalen McMillan, one of his 2 touchdowns of the game. Really good throw, like you mentioned, by Baker on that one. Here, Rachaad White just getting open, but what did you see overall with the play itself?
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to get the ball to Mike Evans here at the top of the screen. And then Baker does a good job of coming back to the middle and to the left side of his reads. Maybe going to Kate Otten here, doesn't see anything, and just does a good job, I think, of being patient and letting this develop. And obviously, Rachaad does a great job of finding space, and then Baker gets the ball to him. And Rachaad really makes a great play here as he's able to just catch and turn, take the hit, and still score. And then here on his rushing touchdown, Cody Mock, he's another one that hasn't been talked about enough, but his ascension as a second-year player has been outstanding. He's been mulling guys, him and Gedeke, outstanding. And then Rashaad's been running really strong, gets a nice touchdown here.
All right, before I touch on that one, yes, the running game, keep using it. It's only going to help out Baker. But on this, the biggest talking point to me, it was a quick read, quick decision. When you're inside your 20, you can't be pump faking, you can't be holding, you can't be looking around, trying to be Superman. You looked around. Mike was your first read. There's a safety over the top help. Okay, cool. Let's go to our second. Kate Otten, everything's covered. He quickly went off to Rachaad White. If he didn't go to Rachaad White, he probably would have ran, but that's what good football looks like. Good execution, timing, good routes, good. We just need to see more of that consistently. Here's Jalen McMillan's second touchdown plus. What'd you like with this one?
Yeah, this was just, again, good design and really timing play call here by Liam Cohen, understanding that the Raiders are going to come in a cover zero look, cover zero pressure, and they do a great job of picking this up. Good ball by Baker, and again, kick out block by Gedeke, and it's wide open for Jalen McMillan to score here. He does a nice little high step touchdown. So, yeah, awesome stuff.
I love the offensive line play, though. I mean, check out Cody Mock. Watch his little Olay here to get over the defensive tackle. Whoop. And then watch this. I didn't block him. I didn't touch him. You got to love it. I mean, our offensive line's playing pretty damn good this season. Yes, like there's some plays where pass pro, they're a little bit iffy at times. They're getting bull rushed. You're going to see later. But the run blocking has been fantastic this year. So much better than years past. And speaking of it, Les, go ahead and tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, so this play here was a nice fourth down conversion. I think this was like fourth and short, but Rachaad does a great job and he really did a awesome job of just keeping his legs moving in this game, really ran hard and physical. He just basically runs over Ryan Miller
Right.
as he falls down, but yep, but does a great job of keeping going, adding more yards after contact. And really keeping the feet working. And then here out of Pony Personnel, they do a great job of the counter. The counter and the gap runs have been awesome for this rushing attack. And you just see where the defense moves just because of Bucky Irving in there. A little hesitation causes just enough space for you. And then it's wide open in the middle. Great run. We're going to see that as it continues.
And this is just using your best players to your advantage. Like, he talks about using Mike Evans. the safety has to stay over the top whenever he's on the field, right? So you can open up your offense more. Running game, the same damn thing. Bucky Irvin always makes a first man miss. So this guy is steady Eddie. Let me stay down because holy shit, this guy's going to juke me out. I'm going to lose my shoes on this one. No, they gave it to Rashad White, more power, get upfield quick. If you're one cut and go and you have to think about is Bucky Irvin going to get the ball, it's usually Rashad White's going to attack and get downhill fast. But yeah, go ahead and continue on with Rashad White's big game here.
Yeah, so here again, another little counter inside zone kind of play setup. And it's always great where you have offensive linemen about 3 yards downfield without touching anybody. So that's awesome. Basically have, Tristan and Gedeke out here in front leading the way. And then Rashad does a good job of just kind of working off of them, working off that space and getting a nice, 10 to 12 yard gain.
It looks beautiful when it works like that, though. And then here we go. There's a good one. Baker holding on the ball a lot, but big gainer here by Rashad White. What'd you see?
Yeah, here I thought this was fine by Baker. Again, you see a rare Tristan Wirfs miss on, well, again, that's Max Crosby, and he's one of the greatest. But a great job here by Baker, really going through his reads quickly, not trying to force the ball over the middle, and then knows where Rashad White is. So that's important. And you have an alleyway here set up for Rashad to take advantage.
Right, and good burst after he catches the ball. Like watch the speed to close through here. The linebacker's kind of closing in, thinking he's going to get him down. Just bursts upfield, gets past him. Gotta like that. Again, Baker, yeah, he has his moments, but then sometimes he kind of overdoes it. But Rashad White here, this one we saw, we're literally sitting behind this, nasty. He sets this guy up on the outside, gives him a little head fake, and then just stiff arms him right into the ground. Like that one got the seats up. Everyone hyped up after that. What'd you see on that one?
Yeah, it was just, again, well-executed play. I like how Rashad really pressed the line of scrimmage here before he bounced it outside, really makes these guys freeze. Good blocking by Cade Otton and Payne Durham, even Jay McMillan getting in there. And then, like you said, setting up the stiff arm and said, get off me. We're getting more yards. So really just awesome job by Rashad overall. And now here we're going to see Cade Otton get into the mix. Always, tight end one, always finding ways to be open, be presentable for your quarterback. So really just doing an in route here over the middle. And again, good job here by Baker. I like that he reset himself and didn't just go straight into run mode. He did a good job of calming his feet after the initial rush, finding Cade and throwing a strike, and a good Cade going airborne.
You gotta love that. But like, give credit to Baker though. Repositioning, like you just said. If they do a little stunt, he comes in, literally right in Baker's face, calm enough to just literally sidestep and realize, okay, there's a whole other wide open hole here. No need to run. Get it to Cade. Fly, Cade, fly. There you go. Keep going on. Got a play action fake. Biggest gainer of the game right here to Cade Otton. Breaking tackles, getting through arm tackles, lowering the shoulder. I think it was a 44-yard gainer. Plus, I know you want to talk on this. Go ahead and speak on it.
Yeah, it's awesome. This was, again, later in the game. They know they have man coverage here. Good job of play action, max protection, and just a good ball by Baker. And Cade does the rest. He's so good with his contact balance and his ability to, break tackles and get yards after the catch. So this was really nice to see. And overall, great play design to set up, I think, another touchdown after this play here. I think this set up the J-Mac touchdown. So, yeah, really nice play.
Was that, or is that the Sean Tucker big run?
I think it was, and I just realized I did not put the Sean Tucker. So let me see if I can get Sean Tucker's clip in here. Yep. But I'll try to upload that as you're doing it. But yeah, this is the first interception now as we get into some of the turnovers. This was just a great play by the Raiders as they made a good play on that there. But yeah,
but overall, this one I'm not going to blame Baker too much on because the guy, it looks like he's flying upfield. So he's thinking, okay, he's just going to keep going. He stops on a dime right as Baker turns his head and throws his arms up. Like, that's tough, right? So in Baker's mind, okay, this guy's flying at me. There's no chance he's going to stop. He even tried to jump to throw this over him. Blockers are set up. This was going to be a really nice gainer, but Again, guy makes a good heady play, and Baker ends up with his first interception. These are the ones I just don't get. This I just don't get. Plus, if you can tell me what was going through his head on this one? So, because
Yeah,
if you're on the 20, inside the 20, really value the ball. I mean, you already got points. Don't give it up. What's going on here?
right. So with this one, the first issue, Jalen McMillan's offsides. So this play wouldn't have counted regardless. But either way, I thought he should have just thrown it right. He didn't need to take that step.
No.
Like what he should have done if he was going to throw to Cade Otton, he needed to throw it right when Cade was going upfield, throw
There.
this back shoulder. Yeah, throw it now, back shoulder with anticipation, or put it into a spot and drive the football. Or you just can't throw it there and you need to go back to Rachaad White and just check it down.
Mhm.
This is a 2nd and 1 situation. At worst, it was going to be 2nd and 6, but yeah, still, you just can't have this. And it's unfortunate Cody Mauch getting driven back like he was. Obviously, that affected the throw, but still, it's just a throw you can't make, especially if you're going to be this late with the football. The safety's already coming down. You just got to go somewhere else with it.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of this is all in front of him, too. So, like, me, in my opinion, if you're pumping to that side, you're inviting everyone over to that side. That's what a pump fake's trying to do, get everyone to that side. Usually you're trying to throw to the opposite side of where you're pumping. Because guess what? When that clears out, safety's bailing all the way. Jalen McMillan's going to be wide the hell open middle of the field because you pumped that way. Why are you throwing back to where you just pumped to? That one was a head scratcher for me. And then if it was pumping to Mike, you're trying to go to Cade, you're looking middle of the field every damn time. Middle of the field just got blown away by this one safety that's right there over the top. Then to throw a jump ball to Cade, it was just a head scratcher all around. Here's the opposite angle, like you said, Rachaad White. If it's not there, if you had a pump and you're still thinking about it, just dump it off, right? I mean, overall, it was just a bad decision. Execution, terrible, but overall, these are learning points. What do you see?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Again, you have guys coming back into your face. Obviously, you can't step into the throw, but either way, I'm just not sure where he's trying to go with this football. Just not a good play. Maybe he's trying to just throw this all the way out of bounds, but obviously it doesn't have the distance there. So it just ends up being a pick. Now we're going to see the fumble. And this is where I saw the guy actually did do a good job of knocking this football out, as you're going to see it. As he turns his back here, he punches it with his hand there to knock it loose. But still, this is unfortunate. They come with a cover 0. And we just don't recognize it. The protection, misses. Obviously, Rashad's in a no man's land there. And obviously it ends up being a turnover.
Either way, though, like this is like I was saying, hit the brakes. Just get down. You already lost. You have 2 guys coming free at you. You see it right in front of you right now. He tries to do a spin move and pull the. No, sometimes it works. If there's 2 guys there, if you only got to do one, okay. There was 2 guys there. You can't do that. That's just blatantly trying to get rid of the ball. And then here's the actual play. Mike Evans there, cover 0. Everyone's covered. Yeah, Cade Otton's wide open for a quick hot, but he's not looking anywhere near there. So he probably should have read this pre-snap. But what else could have given him help to figure this out faster?
Yeah, the only thing I can notice is the safety was coming down. Before I edited it, you could see that the safety was creeping down before the snap. So maybe that can give you a tell. But again, it's you're not expecting it, and it's just unfortunate that it ended up in a turnover. Great call by the Raiders. And then here's, I think, the biggest play of the game. Ended on a high note. This was to Mike Evans. Again, great job of protection. They did a good job of giving Baker time to hit this play. They basically run a double ends here with Shepard and Mike Evans, and Mike is going to catch this ball on the run. Again, a nice place football, and then the nice hurdle there to get extra yards, and that would eventually set up this play by Sean Tucker that we'll show here in a second.
But something that's actually kind of cool. We saw this real early in the season. I think the first game of the season. they did a double in like this, and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans were literally on top of each other. So I like the spacing there to actually open it up a little bit more. I mean, because yeah, it's a double in. One of them has to be open, right? If it's a man beater. But I mean, Mike Evans, hell of a player, of an effort on that one. But I guess you're pulling up another one. I'll let you pull our faces up before I find that film for you.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna put it up. I'm just gonna put it
All right.
up here. So yeah, and then here's the play of Sean Tucker. Again, they run this out of pony personnel and do a great job of setting that up as you see it one more time. Just a nice little counter. Really awesome job. So that was cool. Cool to see. And yeah, man, overall offense, they had some good plays. It just comes down to can they find that consistency in the second and third quarter, so you're not going into those lulls where you keep that other team around. I think that's the biggest thing. But hope you guys enjoyed that. Be sure to hit the like button for us. We appreciate all the support you guys given. Again, apologize for the late starts. We're trying to get better with our timing. Obviously, that I take the blame for that one, obviously today. So, but yeah, we're going to try to do our best to be more prompt and be more on time. But overall, the film, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, especially in the second and third quarters. I think there was just a lot of mishaps on offense. We didn't talk about like the flags. There was false starts. There were some holdings. There were some times where, yeah, Ben Bredesen, he just got beat. Like he got pushed back into Baker and it ended up being a sack. But the turnover plays, those are things you just don't want to, see happen. And obviously maybe, Cohen can kind of learn from this. Maybe we have to get the ball out of Baker's hands more often. Like maybe we should just commit to being a run first team. But the thing with that, does that delay you from getting points? And the main thing is the passing game has been working, especially over the last 3 games where we score early. It's because Baker's getting a rhythm, he's getting the football out, and we're scoring touchdowns. So that's going to be the big thing there.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, another talking point, with limited opportunities, Sterling Shepard makes almost every damn play, right? Like I think I saw the snap count. He didn't have anywhere near as many as Jalen McMillan or Mike Evans, clearly, but still, like when he gets a ball thrown to him, he's giving all effort to get that damn ball. It's not going to be usually his fault that the ball went in the ground, unlike a Jalen McMillan pass that went right through his damn hands on one play. That isn't a Baker fault. That isn't a scheme fault. That is an individual player that dropped it, even though he had 2 touchdowns.
Right.
And he's a rookie. He's learning. But, yeah, stay healthy. Let's keep going and learn from that and get better. But, I mean, Sterling Shepard has been such a huge find, I guess, late in the offseason. And based off of these damn injuries, he's been a huge, like, uplifting, I guess, voice, too. Like, he's a hype man and just all out all day. So I really like his efforts out there. Cade just doing his own thing that he always does, consistent player. If the offense can be a Cade offense, we're going to be a lot more consistent and doing things much better. But no, I don't think you need to be a run-first team. I just think, Larry, hold on to the ball. Like, preserve the ball. Realize what you're doing with the ball on every down. Like, I talked to you about this. Like, the quarterback, it shouldn't be a 50-50 ball.
Right.
If you know what the play is going to be prior and you see what defense is in front of you, yeah, the wide receiver don't know. He's just running a route. You're seeing what's developing. So if it's a zone or man, you already know what the hell you're going to do with the ball and where you're going to place it. You should, the decision you make should be more greater than 50% chance it's going to work. I mean, he's already shown that with his 70% completion percentage this year. But the times his mental lapses go, that's when we start looking like, oh crap, we're going to blow this game, even though we looked really good early on. So I think just the execution from Baker needs to get better. We can't point too many fingers, but we won the game. When he's good, he's good. Fourth quarter Baker, let's see that 4 quarters. This quarter, see it for 4 quarters.
Yeah, and so I just want to go back to Rashad White. I know you talked about Shepard there, but here's the play here. You're going to look at Rashad White's
Oh,
block.
jeez.
Yeah, I mean he's just so good at pass pro.
I'll bring
Let
that
me
up.
see.
That was
Yeah,
nice.
let me see if I can get that on a loop. There we go. But you just see the block that he puts gives Baker time to step up into this throw, and then a great catch by Shepard. And that's the big reason why Rashad White is so important to this team, because he can do things like this. He can just take guys out and make it easier for Baker. That's a huge part of the offense, and that's why he is in there probably more so than Bucky Irving is, or at least has been to this point. And that's why you need all of them. You need all these backs.
Yeah, because they all do something special. Rashad White's just a really damn good pass blocker. And the fact that you have this many, you don't have to force Bucky back, even though he is one hell of a player, and teams are probably
Yeah.
going to have to scheme for him based off how good he's been the last few games. I know he's hurt, but
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would force him to rush back. I mean, the running back position itself gets hurt so easily, so often. Why do that? I mean,
Mhm.
but it is what it is. But overall, like that one play itself is great Baker. That's great timing, stepping up in
Mhm.
the pocket, unleashing a freaking dart in the middle of
Yeah.
the field, right in the damn guy's hands. Hits him so hard he falls. But everything about that was nice. Timing, step up,
Mhm.
ball placement, everything. So I mean, we just need consistency. That's all it's always been. And Baker in the post game press conferences, he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I know it's bad. I know I can't be doing that crap."
Mhm.
And then he'll have a game where, yeah, it's like he doesn't do any turnovers, but
Right.
then he goes back to this norm, which is annoying.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know, like, are you with this crowd that says like the offensive coordinator should scheme that away from him? Like he's setting Baker up to be like that? Because this isn't the offense of like Jameis Winston and BA where it's like, oh, we're throwing this ball 30 yards down the field. That thing's in the air.
No.
Let's pick this damn thing off. So, what are
No,
you,
I
what are your
mean,
thought
yeah,
process?
I mean, our offense, the way Liam Cohen designs it, it's all about getting yak yards, right? It's all about getting yards after the catch. So that's why we're one of the best teams in the league as far as the screen goes, like setting up screens, getting yards after the catch. We're really good at the intermediate and short yardage passing game. Now the deep shots really haven't been there, and that's probably unfortunate for like guys like Mike Evans who have really they've done that even last year with Dave Canales. Mike Evans were getting shots down the field, and Baker was going down the field quite often. But this year it's just a different scheme in how they're operating. So I don't think that's a thing that coaching the turnovers or trying to limit Baker from taking chances. I think it's more so just executing the offense, executing the plays that are there to be made. Those are things that he knows the answers. He's just not hitting them consistently. So I think that's the biggest thing um, moving forward. Now, can you take the ball out of his hands completely and run the football more? Yeah, probably. You could probably do it that way, but we'll
See
just have to
Corey
see.
Hall's statements in here.
Yes, Corey
Bring
Hall.
those
Yeah,
up.
which one do you want to bring up?
Let's go with the top, the first one.
The first one?
Winston equals Baker.
Oh, yeah. I don't
White
know
and
about I don't know about that,
he's
but
nowhere near that bad. He's
yeah,
nowhere near
yeah.
like. I mean, Baker goes through spurts where you're like, holy crap, this guy is phenomenal, like almost MVP caliber. And then he
Mhm.
does little things like that. And people always say his height and stuff. I don't think it really matters. I mean, we've had this discussion with like
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts and I mean, look at Bryce Harper, Bryce
Young.
Young. He's
Yep.
doing better right now. A lot of it's
Right.
just scheme.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, look how good he's doing this year. Kyler Murray's not doing that bad either. So it's like a lot of these short guys, it's timing. It's a
Mhm.
timing thing. That's what
Yeah.
football is. And if it's not there, get rid of it or bail out. And Canales is literally teaching that in. That's what his big thing was, the timing of how long you hold the ball. That was Corey Hall's second thing. Like
Mhm.
he was holding the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And yes, he tries to do this superhero ball, which Winston did do a lot, and that's
Mhm.
where he'd get in trouble. So realize the structure you're in and when you need to make a play and when you don't need to. Like, and that's the fine line. That's usually the fine line between a good player and holy crap, this guy's elite. So he plays that line a lot, and you root for him. It's just how clean can this game get?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like the sack fumble, that one pissed me off. The interception back of the end zone, terrible decision. That was a Winston-esque decision.
Yeah.
And that cannot ever happen the rest of the season. But I don't know. What is your take on the Winston?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna pull up something here. So here's his stats, and you look at, obviously what he's improved on from last year to this year. Obviously the completion percentage, but that goes into the scheme and what they're doing and what they're trying to incorporate. So he's on pace probably to beat that 4,000 yard mark. He's on pace to beat his touchdowns from last year, probably career highs in touchdowns this season. So he'll probably get that. Yes, the interceptions, you don't want to see that at 13 versus 10 last year. I think he's always going to be a guy that's probably going to be around those numbers. 10 to 15 interceptions is probably going to be the thing for him. I don't think that's something he can erase. It's just the way he plays, and that's his mentality. And unfortunately, the sack numbers as well. Like, he's just a guy that's going to end up taking sacks because, like we talked about, he tries to make something out of nothing when he doesn't need to or has to. But when you look at the overall rating, it's not bad. Now the QBR, it's kind of mid. It's average. It's right there in top 20 quarterback, and I would say right now he's probably a top 15 quarterback. And he's definitely playing good enough for this team. It's just, can we find ways to be either better around him or him being a little bit more consistent than he's shown. So that's going to be the biggest thing.
I mean, but the biggest, he raises his game to the certain level once the games get tougher.
Right.
I'll admit, in the playoffs last year, he was good. I mean, in the Lions game, the interception, the first interception was not his fault. Evans drops the ball and it goes right in the other guy's hands.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the game, he was fighting and executing really, really well. It almost got to a shootout. And in the end, he's just trying to make big plays with very little time on the clock. And he gets another interception. But I think as these get more serious, he's going to stop turning the ball over. I think he got reckless because it was 14-0. Let's just see what the hell I can do. Mm-hmm. But that can't be your mindset. Your mindset needs to be, I need to be consistently being the leader of this team and drive them down the field. And if I can't drive them down the field, I'm not going to make it worse on them, especially on my defense. That's where it needs to be said. But yeah, I think he's going to have another clean game because usually after a bad game recently, like go to his game log. Besides the stretch where the New Orleans stretch and Ravens stretch and that bullshit.
Yeah, but, I mean, so right now during the wins, obviously the last two games he's had 4 picks versus 4 touchdowns. So imagine that. Now against the Giants, he played very well. He had zero touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He had a rushing touchdown in that game. But yeah, I mean, when you look at his QBR, 87, that's really good. That's where you would like to see him be at. But again, you're not going to be playing the Giants every week. Yeah. So yeah, he's got to be better. Even in these losses, he had a stretch where he had no turnovers against the Chiefs and the 49ers. And again, the 2 interceptions kind of rang its head, and started with the Saints game, 3 interceptions in that one, and then back-to-back 2 interception games like we've seen now. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean,
and this is what happens with this team. But some of those, even in the Saints game, going back, Jalen McMillan dropped one of those and handed it to a damn Saints player. So it's not all on Baker. Like some of the interceptions, it's not solely on him. Like sometimes guys get caught staring it down. Winston did that all the damn time. Like blatantly, I'm going to throw through the linebacker and it's going to get to Mike Evans' hands. I don't think Baker's doing it that bad. So, but some of these tip balls, if you want to say it's his height, you can say with it anyone. I mean, Jameis Winston got tip balls. Like one of his pick sixes was a tip ball just recently against the Broncos. So he's like 6'4". So it's not necessarily a height. It's a timing thing and knowing that the guy is there. You got to throw around him.
Right.
Baker does do good arm angle throws. He has everything. It's just being consistent and knowing when to make a play and when to call it. I got to live for the next drive. Because, I mean, if we play error-free ball, we're in every damn game. Just don't beat yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's tough to play, perfect every time, especially on offense. But yeah, these, the turnovers, those are things that, obviously you want to limit, especially when you have a defense that is, just struggling right now to get turnovers. Yes, they could have had a big turnover day yesterday if they got the calls or the catches that they should have made. But still, it's been tough for them, to make plays, and that's the thing where you look at it. We just got to do that. And I'll show one more play here, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. But just want to talk about Tyke Smith because he's been so awesome this season. Just does a great job here on Brock Bowers. Pretty much just kind of keeps him in position there, and the quarterback just throws it. I don't know. I guess he's expecting Brock Bowers to come back, but again, good pressure here by Yaya Diaby as well. Kind of forces the throw. Good play there by Tyke to catch it. So him coming back, and he was really such on a pace of probably being in contention for Defensive Rookie of the Year if he stayed healthy. And I hope he finishes the season strong because he has been really good for this team this season.
Yeah, I liked him kind of out of Georgia. I was like, holy crap, this is a good guy. He's sticky. I didn't think he had the speed he had. I was like, holy, he's really physical at the point of attack and literally contested catches. Usually he's going to knock that damn thing down, but he had a huge nose for the ball and was a very aggressive player. And clearly he's showing that immediately. And to stay healthy, that's the biggest thing. Because if he's healthy and we have Dean and McCollum, like we're going to be in every game.
Yep.
Like we've talked about this Chargers game, we're going to be in it. Just limit your turnovers. Yeah. So it's frustrating, yes, because usually consistency is usually points to the coach. But some of it's like individual player issues too. Like defensively, that's all on the coach. Like some of it's like, why are you changing so slow? But the talk of Baker and the tip passes, it is what it is. I mean, either way, the scheme of it, the tip pass in this game was just a hell of a play. It wasn't the fact that Baker's short. The guy stopped immediately and jumped up. Like that's.
Yeah, it was a good adjustment by the Raiders. Obviously, they recognized that the screen game was working early, and he did a good job of recognizing it there, made a stop, tipped it, caught it. So you just got, sometimes that happens. But overall, defensively, like I said earlier in the pod, the structure, the tackling has been better. I like the 5-1-5. Hopefully we see more of that moving forward. I know you can't do it all the time, especially it depends on personnel that you're facing. This week, facing a bigger offensive line, you're facing a rushing attack that likes to, pound the rock. So you're going to have to be smart in how you deploy your personnel. It'll be a good game probably for Ryan Neal to make his debut. I would like to see him be utilized at linebacker, use Kayvon Merriweather in the box, do things like that. Hopefully Mike Edwards comes back. If he does, that's a big boost because then you can put him at free safety with Antoine going to be out for a few weeks. So with the sprained knee, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for us, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that. Appreciate everyone joining us. I think we had almost 200 people in here, so that is awesome. And again, like I said, for next week, we'll try to be more time efficient. We'll get the film together more quicker, and we'll try to go talk about the defense as well. To show them off, not just the offense, because even though we do love offense around here, but anyway. Appreciate all the support. Hit that like button. Comment down below your thoughts. If there's something more specific you guys want to see, let us know, and we'll try to make it happen for you all. But everyone have a great week. Buccaneers are in first place, and let's see if they can hang on to it. It's going to be a fun final 4 games left of the season. So anyway, everyone have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.
Let's go Bucs.